Hey, what is going on, you guys? It is Mr. No Sleep here from Old School RuneScape, and welcome to a brand new loot video for you all today. Today, I bring you guys loot from 10 hours of Urium shades, and the goal for this one is to simply make as much money as possible in a time span of 10 hours. My gear setup at first was some prayer bonus gear as well as some strength bonus gear, but then I quickly realized that I didn't really need to use overhead prayers here, so I just went with full bandos as well as my fang and a Saradomin Godsword and Salve Amulet. My inventory setup was my coffin to collect more shade remains, a Saradomin Godsword for prayer and HP, and of course a golden key to access this area, as well as Mortania legs to teleport near this area. Now these are a very interesting monster and they only have one drop to their name, so before we get started in this 10-hour journey, we do have some quick words from our sponsor today, Bespoke Post. Bespoke Post is a monthly membership club delivering a box of awesome top shelf goods from under the radar brands. It's free to join and you can skip a month or cancel anytime. 90% of their products come from small brands, many of which are based right here in the US. For example, here we have Trail, the gut hook knife, and the Trail box is made by Titan International, located in Illinois. Or, for example, we have here Forge. This Damascus steel knife is made by Buck and Bear Knives, located in Northeast Pennsylvania. Now, every month, Bespoke introduces members to cool new products such as outdoor gear, barware, home and kitchen goods, clothing, and more, even live oysters. But this is based on a preference quiz that you fill out. Every box of awesome has around $70 worth of goods inside, but costs you only a fraction of the value. You'll get a box of awesome assigned to you, and before it's shipped, you'll get a preview of what comes inside to decide if you'd like to 1. Keep it, 2. Swap it for a different box, or 3. Skip the month entirely for no charge. Remember, you only pay for what you want. So I'll show you guys 2 examples of some pretty incredible boxes here. The first one being Sizzle. This comes with a carbon steel stir fry pan with detachable wood handles, as well as a 2-piece bamboo steamer. On top of this, you get bamboo cooking chopsticks, pure sesame oil, and spicy chili crisp. Here we have another box. This is probably my favorite just because I simply think it's amazing. This is Purified. This is a UV water bottle, which comes with eucalyptus pocket hand sanitizer and bergamot pocket hand sanitizer. I personally think the UV water bottle is incredible. Definitely no germs or bacteria coming with that bad boy, so it's very important these days to stay clean, and that's probably some of the cleanest water you'll ever drink. Here is the box that I received recently, this being the Flame box. It comes with a beautiful Flicker personal cement fireplace, so not only can I stay warm, but I can also have some incredible marshmallows. To receive 20% off your first box of awesome, click the link in the description and enter coupon code MrNoSleep20 at checkout, or you can just go to bespokepost.com/MrNoSleep20. There are so many amazing boxes and choices to choose from. You guys do not want to miss out on this. So a huge thank you to Bespoke Post for sponsoring today's video. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get into today's video. All right, well, now that that is taken care of, let's go ahead and get back into the video. So the gear setup for this one was Proselyte, and I was praying Piety with Protect Melee as the overhead. But after a few inventories, I did realize I wanted to make as much profit as possible, so I would switch the prayer potions out for bandos and not use Piety, and this would save some money on using prayer potions. This is the highest level shade that you can kill in the area of which it's found, so I would say definitely bring prayer if you're a lower level, or bring food if you don't want to use overheads. And with that, I also brought my golden casket, or golden coffin, whatever you prefer to call it, since this held basically an extra full inventory of shade remains, meaning in one inventory I could bank over 50 shades instead of the normal 25. Now I will say it's probably a strange time to upload this video, of course with all the new wilderness bosses being released recently into the game. I should have probably prioritized that more, but I was already in the middle of a huge Guardians of the Rift video, which should be completed by tomorrow, and that was done on my main account. But I also didn't want to make a simple 10-hour video covering the new bosses. I really really want to do 1,000 kills of each and every single one of them, the upgraded new bosses as well as the kind of lower tiered ones they released as well. So that's why I figured I would just do a quick 10-hour video covering these shades, because not only is it over 1 mil GP an hour, but it's also minimum requirements, and I figured that not a lot of people know about this area, and for those of you who don't want to go in the wilderness and kill the new bosses, or just, want to do Zulrah or Forecast, you can always do something a little bit, out of the box, and I figure this is definitely in that category, way out there, and you don't really see too many people talk about these shades, when in terms of making profit, or at least good profit per hour. But yeah, in 2 days from now, I will finally be releasing my long-term Guardians of the Rift video on my main account, as well as my long-term Mosh Giant plus a Pyrophyta video for you guys on my Iron Man account. Both of these videos individually have taken over 30 to 40 hours to do, so I really hope you guys enjoy them. That's where I've been, other than celebrating my 25th birthday this week. I was a little inactive for that, but yeah, that's really why I haven't uploaded this much, content in the last 10 days. Just some real life things, as well as some long-term projects that I'm finally finishing up. For example, we just finished up that 1000 next FFA video, which did amazing. You guys really seem to enjoy that one, and I hope you guys enjoy what I have coming for you guys in the coming days. But I just wanted to keep you guys updated on that. Just stay awake January, thriving, but it turns out today is the 31st, so this will be the 11th video of the month. I'm definitely not happy with that number, but I do know that in February that should be double, so I'm really looking forward to February. I haven't come up with a title of it yet, but just bear with me on that. Much more content to come. But yeah, the idea from this video really came from about 2 years ago, where I burned 1,000 remains and obtained a ton of prayer and fire making XP, and the remains that I burned are the same ones that I'm receiving as loot in this video, and I really obtained the full Zealot set as well as much more loot in that burning video. So this time around, instead of burning the remains, I wanted to gather them myself and sell them for as much profit as possible, just to show you all that this is a consistent 1 mil plus an hour method, and it's very laid back, really zero effort required, especially for main accounts, since you can buy the locks for this casket that I have to bank all of my shade remains. Instead of having to manually get the locks and unlock them on an Iron Man, you can just kind of buy them in the Grand Exchange and talk to the NPC, and just like that you get to double your inventory here. So I found that to be very useful. Without having the coffin unlocked, you probably wouldn't make nearly as much as a mil an hour here, so I probably wouldn't have done this video without that being a thing. It can almost act as like a terror bird or a war tortoise, holding a bunch of loot for you. So big shout out to the casket. It really made this video possible. And not only was I making over a mil an hour here, but with my max strength setup and my Fang, I was definitely receiving over 80k strength XP an hour. And I also had a little overlay attached on the screen over halfway in to show you guys my XP an hour, so I'm not just making that up. One thing I do want to touch on, which I know I'll see in the comment section, is that I do know the length of the sponsor at the beginning of the video was a little longer than usual. Believe me, I recognize this. I just want you guys to know that, it's a lot of words that I have to say in those sponsors. That's why it turns out longer than usual. But I'm sure you all know this. It does support the channel a ton. So I do appreciate you guys watching the ad and, checking out the links in the description. And to those who skip it, no worries at all. I completely understand. But yeah, I just wanted to say I do recognize that. But as it goes for January, it is, as I mentioned before, it is coming to a close here. 11 videos this month. It wasn't as good as my 17 last month or my 21 the month before it, but we're not falling off here. Definitely going to get into the new content soon enough. I did check out the wilderness bosses on release. I think I killed about 50 of the new Vedion, but there was just so many PKers that I didn't really think it was worth it to do, and I didn't want to pause my long-term Guardians of the Rift video. But fear not, ladies and gentlemen, in a few days from now, I'll be covering those bosses, and gosh, I can only imagine how many times I'm going to die, how many times I'm going to get an anti-PK, and hopefully how many times I receive a rare in the coming weeks. So I'm really excited for that. Hopefully you guys are as well. February is probably going to be one of the biggest months, similar to December, and just a huge shout out to Jagex for all the new content. That's why February is going to be really killing it, so I'm very excited about that. But as it goes for these Urium shades, steady profit, pretty basic, very repetitive. I think I used to see a few bot farms down here probably a few years back, but I didn't run into a single person while doing this, at least not anyone who was killing the shades, but occasionally I did see some people opening up the chests in the room right next to these shades to receive all sorts of loot. I think that's one of the best ways to get an elite clue scroll. So I always see people around this area, but not too many people killing the shades, and that's why the demand for the remains is so high, and that's why you can get away with selling them for almost 6,000 GP each, which is incredible money if you think about it, hour to hour. And speaking of hours, right after we obtained 130 mil strength XP, the loot from 10 hours of Urium shades had been completed. Overall, in 10 hours time, with this exact setup as well as the salve amulet, you can't forget about that, I was able to obtain 1,758 Urium shades. Gonna go ahead and see if I can sell them for a little lower than 6k, 5,800 in the Grand Exchange, and it looks like they did sell for a little over that price, so that is not bad at all. Spent about 500k in supplies, so that leaves us with over 10 mil profit, 1 mil an hour, and yeah, very easy to do. So feel free to check this out if you need a quick bond or if you just want to, try out a new money making method. Well, that is it for now, ladies and gentlemen. I will see you soon with a new month and a new batch of incredible videos. Thank you so much for everything, and happy February, I guess you could say, coming up. Till next time, Mr. No Sleep out.